All right. Let me know if you guys can hear me. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear me. All right. Hello, History Matters fan. And yes, I do like your new profile picture. All right. We are here. Give me a second. All right. And we are here to celebrate 400,000 subscribers. No, what the fuck did I just say? I didn't mean 400,000. I meant 400 subscribers. Hello, Tim. How are you? I'm doing good. So, last night, in case you didn't know, I'm going to go ahead and explain it. We hit 400 subscribers on this channel. So, there's that. And I decided, why not just do a little bit of a live video and just chill for a minute. I'm not going to do this for very long. Because I don't usually stream on YouTube. For those of you who are wondering, I stream on Twitch. It looks like people are starting to come in. Unfortunately, they may not be the people I want to talk to right now. Just kidding, but they are going to be some characters. Alright. Man, I have no idea why this thing is freaking out right now. There we go. There we go. Should be good now. Yeah, alright. Reset one more time. There we go. Alright. Alright. Alright, cool. So I thought maybe, okay, so cool. I got everything set up because it is really weird to stream on YouTube. It's not easy to stream on here. In fact, it's a very hard thing to do. I thought maybe you know what would be a good idea actually? Going back and watching some of these other videos that I've made here. And I don't know. Because I didn't really plan this out actually. Also, sorry if the VTuber model is acting a bit strange. I don't know why the fuck it's doing that. Alright. Unfortunately, on here I don't have the transition. I just have the... Oops, shit, my bad. There you go. Yeah. Alright, cool. So yeah, on here I just have the regular thing. Let me also turn down the volume there, and hold on. Gain capture 2, capture specific window, VC face. Tim, is one of your videos going to show? It's going to be Timgladiator out of context. Unfortunately, I do not have that video up yet, but I will soon. I'll explain why I haven't been uploading in a minute here. Let me just get everything set up. There's a reason why I haven't really been uploading. The reason why is because of the fact that, here's the thing. It's much more easier to live stream on Twitch than to sit down and edit a video. If you look at the type of videos I used to do game reviews. And the thing is, I love doing them. But then it's like, people kept saying that type of content, it not that it was bad, but it's like I needed to do things to make it different and stuff like that. But the thing is, that's just how I did my content. And it kind of took the fun out of it when I wasn't allowed to do it the way I wanted to do. Does that make sense? It was just something that really just kind of just like maybe just go, I don't know about this. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Here we go. There we go. Alright, cool, there we go. Alright, cool. But yeah, like I was saying, just the idea of not being able to create my own videos the way I wanted to just kind of took the fun out of making them. You know what I mean? Because it's like I couldn't do the content that I wanted to do since, you know, people were saying, well, you know, that type of content is not the type of stuff that people want to see. Or, you know, maybe your content is not exciting enough, which it's like, I don't know. It just really took to find it. For example, I got the first video here, which is the Cold War for a second. Hold on, before I play it, let me put on my headphones. Okay, I'm back. Pog. Hi. Hello, Michael Afton. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Alright. So, we're gonna look at a couple of these videos here, because why not? And, oh my fucking god, this thing. Reset position. I have no idea why it's doing this. Alright, let's look at the Cold War video.
45, and Germany has lost World War II. The German conquest of Europe.
So, the original vision for the channel is I was gonna try to do both history content and gaming content at the same time. Unfortunately, that did not end up working out.
Allies out of the Democratic West and Communist East. However, this wouldn't last. The USSR under the leadership of Joseph Stalin.
And to make things more piss poor, I was recording this with my phone. Unlike now, where I actually have a pretty decent USB microphone.
But didn't trust the West and refused to pull out of the European territory that they had occupied during the war. To ensure the safety of the country, Stalin established communist puppet states in Eastern Europe.
I am actually pretty proud of these illustrations though, because they did take a lot of effort to put in. I don't know if History Matters fan, if you know of these videos, you probably do. Lol.
To deter aggression from Western powers. It was at this time that British Prime Minister Winston Churchill declared that an Iron Curtain had descended across Europe. The epicenter of all this conflict was Germany's capital, Berlin. After the war, the Soviets surrounded and occupied Berlin, but not all the city itself.
Another thing is the editing program that I was using to make these with was I use Wondershow Filmora to edit, and a lot of the good stuff is not in Wondershow Filmora. It's usually in other programs. Hold on. I have no idea why this thing is acting so crazy today. But yeah, all the good stuff is in stuff like Adobe Illustrator, and I don't know. I really have to sit down and learn Illustrator because I'm not really good at it. But all of the really good stuff is in Illustrator, and I only had really access to the basic stuff, which helped. But I really wanted to do better edits and stuff, and then you get stuff like that where it like flashes.
Tensions began to grow as the USSR and the West threatened each other and feared for a new war.
You can hear the fucking notification in the background.
Determined to bring all of Berlin under communist rule, Stalin ordered a blockade of Berlin, which would pressure the West to get out. This put the West in a difficult position as they wanted to maintain their grip on Berlin without causing full-scale conflict. Eventually, the Allies counteracted Stalin's blockade by flying supplies to the city, to what became known.
And the music is like, if you guys don't know, there's another history YouTuber called Alternate History Hub. I got the music from him because I've always loved the background music in his videos. And what's funny is the fact that the guy who made the music actually commented on this video. I think he did. Let me see. Did he? No. No, I think it was on the other one.
Airlift. The operation was a rousing success for the Western Allies and allowed them to stand Berlin while defending Western democracy. The late 1940s was a busy time in Cold War politics.
Stole a joke from Oversimplified.
1. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, was signed into being to strengthen the Western Allies. 2. The U.S. carried out the Marshall Plan, sending over $12 billion to Western Europe for economic.
Oh my god.
3.
Fuck's sake.
The USSR took advantage of the new technology of nuclear weapons and quickly built themselves an arsenal. This led to even more tensions as the U.S. under President Harry Truman announced the Truman Doctrine.
Also, History Matters fan, if you're there, you may notice that this I actually also stole from History Matters fan. Well, he doesn't do this anymore because he doesn't do the 10-minute history videos anymore. So that's the. I decided just to say, okay, well, he's not using it anymore, so why not take advantage of it?
Announced the Truman Doctrine as they sought to continue the spread of communism.
Oh my fucking god, this is just like, damn. Why did I put this here, bro? Fuck's wrong with me? I feel like Charmix right now. I'm just making bad decisions all around.
Around the world. The early 1950s saw the rise of new communist states, such as the People's Republic of China in 1949. After a brutal 10-year-long civil war, the communists under Mao Zedong kicked out the old.
I don't think the Chinese Civil War lasted for 10 years. I think it lasted for longer than that. So that date is incorrect.
Republic of China.
I love that zoom in and that laugh effect.
10-year-long civil war, the communists under Mao Zedong kicked out the old Republic of China and established the PRC. The USSR had a powerful new ally. The rise of communism in Asia continued, as demonstrated by the Korean War, as UN forces fought to stop the communist takeover of Korea.
This was actually a pretty cool thing in the background noise. This was actually a pretty cool thing. The North Korean soldiers. These characters actually took a long time to draw, and I was actually pretty proud of them. And the background was actually something else to do too.
Yeah. The war ultimately ended in a stalemate, dividing the peninsula between communist North and non-communist South, where it remains to this day. In 1953.
And also, why the hell is this image looks so fucking low resolution? Is it just me?
Joseph Stalin died, which led to the rise of Nikita Khrushchev in the Soviet Union.
And then you got the Russian music playing in the background.
He was a little differently from Stalin, totally ditching Stalin's cult of personality policy for more openness, but not that much. The 1950s also saw the rise of the first set of revolutions against communist rule in the Eastern Bloc, the most notable being East.
You could tell that there is a lot of History Matters influence in the way I made these videos. If you've watched History Matters before. Because at the time, I was addicted to his channel.
Technological advances in the world continued the growing tensions between East and West, the creation of hydrogen bombs being one of them. The most famous event happened in 1957, when Russia launched the world's first artificial satellite into space, codenamed Sputnik 1. America was not fond of the Soviet advancement in technology, so U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower created NASA to compete with the Russians, and so began the space race. Contrary to popular belief, the race wasn't actually to get to the moon, but to test military technology. In 1961, the Soviets made history again by becoming the first nation to achieve manned spaceflight after sending Yuri Gagarin into space. This forced the Americans to rethink their
The jokes.
America won the space race by sending Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the moon. Back in the USSR, Khrushchev's premiership continued to be plagued with ups and downs. Despite promoting a policy of
I have no idea what happened to the audio at this part. It just got really crappy. I don't know what that was about.
peaceful coexisting with the West, tensions were still ongoing. Beginning of the decade, we see a decline in leadership. Khrushchev's poor handling of the U-2 crisis.
U2, which is a reference to the band.
We saw the U.S. conduct spy missions over the USSR despite its threats. A tense standoff at Checkpoint Charlie, in which U.S. and Soviet tanks almost turned into a heated incident. And one of the biggest defeats was the breaking of ties with the PRC in 1961, which became known as the Sino-Soviet split. 1961 will also see the rise of the Berlin Wall to prevent the spread of Eastern Germans to the West, as to more anti-communist sentiment. One of the biggest events of his premiership and the Cold War in general was the Cuban Missile Crisis. But that's for next episode.
Okay, so that wasn't I don't think that it's filled with lots of not accurate information. A lot of people told me the drawings were nice. They think it was cute. And this actually used to be my Minecraft skin right here. This was actually my Minecraft skin for 5 years until I changed it to the one you see right now. And I was going to make it the face of the channel, but I didn't. And I made the other thing the face of the channel. It has 177 views. That's insane. Hold on. So then, of course, the second video is my first game review, which is on one of my favorite games of all time. Let's go to Timgladiator, the 200. Let's go to the 200 subscriber special here.
The ability to play games off of a CD-ROM. Sony's head start with.
So when it came to the game reviews, I feel like I took a lot of inspiration from Color Shed Productions, if you guys know who that is. I really like his videos. I also like Cadicurus, PBJ, and I also took a lot of inspiration from G-Man Lives, because I freaking love his reviews. I think they're very nice. Metal Gear Solid was actually not supposed to be the very first review. The first review was supposed to be GTA 3. But the GTA 3 review ended up being too big because GTA 3 is a big game, so I ended up going with Metal Gear instead because I like Metal Gear more.
By companies who were taking advantage of the more powerful hardware. The one in particular we're looking at today is Konami, or one of its developers, a certain Hideo Kojima. His relationship with the company was mixed, as he was still being overlooked due to his lack of programming skills. Despite this, Kojima was still able to create many hits for the company, like Police Knots, Snatcher, and the vid's subject of focus, Metal Gear. The series had been dormant ever since 1990's Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, and they wanted to make a third installment, but was sidetracked by other projects. It wasn't until the release of the PlayStation that development got underway. Inspired by his love of movies and the art of filmmaking, Kojima envisioned this game to be a cinematic masterpiece and to go places that no other video game had gone before, with the help of the PS1 hardware. The dev team intended to create the best PS1 game ever made, and by God did they do it.
Oh my God, stop with that joke. Why does that joke keep appearing?
The presentation at E3 1997 had the crowd ecstatic, and Metal Gear Solid was released in September of 1998 to critical acclaim. It is now seen as one of the best video games ever made.
You know, something that pissed me off recently is the fact that I actually lost my PS1 copy of Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't, because that's the only way for me to play that game. I have to find my PlayStation 1 copy. It's around here somewhere. It really made me mad when I lost it.
The adventure of Metal Gear Solid begins in 2005. The latest edition of a bipedal nuclear arm.
And another thing that makes this review pretty egregious is all the footage is not mine. This was before I started to record my own footage, so already I'm off on the wrong foot.
A robot named Metal Gear has finished being developed by the U.S. government in a military base codenamed Shadow Moses Island in Alaska. Everything is going well for the U.S. until tragedy strikes. A terrorist group by the name of Foxhound stages an uprising at the base, demanding $1 billion and the remains of their former leader Big Boss, or they'll unleash a nuclear weapon. Meanwhile, former Foxhound member Solid Snake, retiring in Alaska, is is called back to combat the threat with his support team. Leading the team is a former Foxhound commander and a friend of Snake, Colonel Campbell, Dr. Naomi Hunter as a medical specialist, and Mei Ling, who saves Snake's mission data, and Master Miller, who is an old friend of Snake. In contrast to the helpful nature of Snake's support team, we have the Foxhound members, consisting of Revolver Ocelot, a formidable gunfighter and expert in torture.
Despite its flaws, I'm actually still proud of this review because it actually turned out the way I wanted to.
Decoy Octopus, Master of Disguise, Sniper Wolf, a Master of Sniping, Volker Raymond, a Shamanist and another good gunfighter, Psycho Mantis, who has crazy mind powers, and finally the terrorist leader, Liquid Snake. Snake's mission objectives are simple at first. Rescue the DARPA Chief Donald Anderson and the ArmSec President Kenneth Baker, learn about terrorists and the nuclear threat to stop anybody involved. But in classic Metal Gear fashion, the story isn't as straightforward as you might expect. Twists and turns from every corner ensure that players are engaged the entire time. Kojima essentially took the cliche spy action thriller genre and turned it on its head, creating possibly one of the most memorable stories in gaming history.
And that's the thing I've always loved about Metal Gear Solid. Just the fact that it's so different than all the other games. It has a lot of anime-esque type elements in it, but that's the thing that makes it one of my favorite video games of all time, just of how different it is. And Snake himself, when it comes to my favorite Metal Gear game of all time, I can't really decipher which one is my favorite. It always has been a battle between the first and the third game. But I like Metal Gear Solid 3 because I love Big Boss, I love the jungle setting, and I love all the advancements that game made. But there's just something about the original that I just can't let go.
And I'm going to leave it there because it's better to play the game to experience it firsthand. And my high school life doesn't allow for that.
Yeah, this was back when I was in high school. I'm graduated now.
Well, Metal Gear Solid takes after its predecessors as well in the transition to 3D. The game, of course, is a stealth action game with the camera in a fixed top-down angle, and it changes occasionally so you can see the level better. Another feature of this game is the Solitaire radar, which shows the location of enemies. This, alongside looking in first person, allows you to view your surroundings more easily. This is very important, especially since we're now working in a 3D space. It may be awkward, especially for first-time players. Same goes for the rest of the controls. You just don't pick it up and play. Remove Snake with the D-pad or the analog stick if you have the PS1 DualShock, and perform actions with the face button, and use the L1 and R1 buttons to access your items. Use the select button allows Snake to use the Kodak feature, which keeps Snake in contact with his team at any time, especially if he gets stuck. It may not be perfect, but he gets the job done. Now trust me, I love this game to death. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but the controls kinda make it annoying to play at first.
Well, I wouldn't say the controls make it annoying to play at first. I've beaten this game. I haven't beaten this game a lot of times, but I've played this game so many times that the controls have become second nature to me, so I wouldn't say it's kind of annoying to play at first. The only Metal Gear game that's annoying to play with the controls is Peace Walker. That's only because of the PSP, for playing the PSP version without the analog stick, but even the HD version is really nice to play.
Because it's real easy to
Although in that game you're not allowed to crouch or crawl, so that's something else.
get stuck in a prone position where you easily get spotted. Luckily, Metal Gear Solid does have some tricks up its sleeve when it comes to staying out of sight. Methods include hiding behind walls, crawling, banging on the walls to get enemies' attention, and using the many tools and weapons scattered all over Shadow Moses, and the trademark serious staple of hiding in a cardboard box. Yep, it doesn't get any better than this. However, this goes both ways. The guards in Metal Gear Solid aren't mindless obstacles. They actually do pay attention to their senses and will react accordingly to changes in the environment. They can spot footprints either in the snow or in water puddles.
What was that noise? Whose footprints are these?
And of course noise.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up in there, will ya?
My favorite detail has to be this. The snake hides in a cardboard box in a very peculiar way.
Man,
The guards won't think twice about checking it. All of this adds to the stealth gameplay, which the game encouraged heavily because now it's time to talk about what makes Metal Gear Metal Gear. Getting started.
all the low-res images and videos is really just like, damn, what the hell was I thinking?
When spotted, Snake has to escape and stay out of the guard's line of sight until everything goes back to normal. But that's easier said than done. The guards are relentless and will check everywhere for Snake. Alongside the fact that your health bar is small at the beginning, it goes to show that combat is bad. There's one caveat though. Sprinkled throughout the game's story are boss battles. against the members of Foxhound. Each boss battle is unique in their own way, ranging from gunfights, shooting down attack helicopters, and eventually fighting Metal Gear itself, with the challenge of learning their weak points and attack patterns. Psycho Mantis in particular is iconic in his design, as the fourth wall jokes are smart and effective.
All the bosses in this game are just really good. I think my favorite boss has to be the ending with Metal Gear. It's either that or either the Hindy boss fight or the Aurora Ocelot boss fight. The boss fight I despise this boss fight is the two Sniper Wolf ones, especially the first one because of the backtracking.
Having to plug the PS1 controller into port 2 so we can't read your mind. Sometimes you have to take action outside the game, and when you defeat them, you usually get great cuts explaining their backstory, adding some nice depth to the characters. In fact, every character, whether they have a big or small role, has a story to tell, and masterfully done voice acting only adds to the enjoyment.
The truth is, my grandfather was part of the Manhattan Project. He suffered with the guilt for the rest of his life.
You know, I don't use makeup the way other women do. I hardly ever look at myself in the mirror. I've always despised that kind of woman. I always dreamed of becoming a soldier. But I was wrong. It wasn't really my dream. My father, he was killed in action when I was younger.
But the father began. I will surpass him. I will destroy him. You're just like Naomi. Well, I'm not like you.
Metal Gear Solid is one of the few games at the time to master voice acting in video games, a luxury that we take for granted nowadays. The cutscenes themselves are miraculously crafted.
Oh, Jesus.
And full far-based humor that even after 20 years is still blowing people's minds. It takes about
I mean, yeah, Metal Gear Solid is like a piece of art. I always heard I've always heard this talking point and stuff like that where it's like, oh, are video games art or something, you know? All right. Okay. Yeah, I've always heard this argument of stuff like video games art. Metal Gear Solid is like the first video game where it's like a full-on movie where you actually have people in the credits and stuff like that, professional voice acting, where it's not actually, you know, it's actually real and pretty immersive.
10 hours to beat Metal Gear Solid 1. Half the time we dedicate to gameplay, the other is cutscenes and codec conversations. The cutscenes in Metal Gear are known for being long. Even skipping codec conversations takes a bit of time. However, if you want to know what to do or where to go, it requires that you sit down and listen.
Or you could just look it up.
However, it isn't all milk and honey. The Shadow Moses complex itself is
It's funny because I have a friend that came up with that line. I forgot why he came up with it, but he came up with that line with me because he was trying to help me get my channel off the ground back in high school when I was first making this video.
very nice area to sleep in. Variety of areas, the game's rewarding soundtrack, keeping you on your toes. It is in many ways an upgrade from past games. But many have to point out that Shadow Moses is smaller than the bases in those games. This is another area where Metal Gear Solid falls short, as backtracking is mostly never a fun activity.
If there's one thing people hate about the original, it's just the backtracking. That's it.
At the end of the day, Metal Gear Solid is one of the
10 out of 10.
achievements.
I still agree with that. This game is so fucking good. It's still a 10 out of 10. I love this game to death. Anyone who personally knows me knows that this is literally one of my favorite games of all time. And when it comes to this review, I give it a 6 out of 10 because there's a lot of stuff I could have did better. I could have gotten my own footage. At the time, I didn't have a capture card, so I guess it was out of my league to get some footage. And I didn't want to record the PC version because the PC version has a lot of problems. But this review, this first game review, I don't think it was that bad. I don't know. Let me go what you guys think.
Despite some aspects starting to show some age, the game is just as funny as clever as ever. Combined with unforgettable plot, addictive gameplay, wonderfully made soundtrack, and much more, Metal Gear Solid was the first in the series to overwhelm the soul and help lead to the modern age of stealth games. Its impact on the industry cannot be overstated.
1981 in the original Castle Wolfenstein.
Okay, so now we're going on to the Castle Wolfenstein thing. Do I want to watch the Castle Wolfenstein review? Let's see. Actually, let's skip. Let's go to a review actually that I'm extremely proud of. This review I love to death. This review actually.
2015 and PewDiePie is the biggest YouTuber of all time. For me, I felt like it was one of those years where Pewds was at his highest. At this time, his channel was literally gaining subscribers every
So you'll notice that I actually upgraded my my avatar, which wouldn't be the last time.
single second. So obviously, it's gonna take it to the next level. For a very long time, Felix always had ambitions on creating his own video game. And with some help from the guys at Outer Minds, in September of 2015, he released PewDiePie Legend of the Brofist. What? Who is that?
Hello.
Whoa, it's my dear friend R-Screen, who has over 15,000 subscribers.
Sorry to interrupt him, but I heard you was talking about PewDiePie, and I just had to join in on the fun.
Sure, it's about time I had a guest over. So, after you.
Yeah, so sorry, I dropped both my controller and my phone, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, so this review is actually pretty cool because I did it with a friend from high school named R Screen. Pretty big YouTuber actually. He's been doing YouTube for like I think going on 5 to 6 years now. And I was all like, hey man, you want to finally do that collab video? And I was all like, well, what's the more perfect game than PewDiePie Legend of the Brofist? And I actually have some secrets about this video that I'm going to explain when we go throughout. So let's just go.
Okay.
And of course, this is the beginning of the flag animation thing.
PewDiePie Legend of the Brofist was released in 2015 for Android, iOS,
So first thing, this is actually the first video game where I actually recorded all the game myself.
Windows, and Mac. Getting straight into the story of the game is pretty simple. One day, PewDiePie is recording a video and notices that it has no views.
Suddenly, a barrel bursts through the wall, informing Pewds that their leader, the evil King Barrel, has captured all of his fans in order to unlock the legendary power of the Brofist to take him out.
So Pewds go on this massive adventure to put this crusade to an end. Along the way, he meets up with other famous YouTube creators who all assist him.
We have Markiplier.
Cinnamon Toast Ken. Do I have to say this?
Say it.
Bro, the writing is not good. I mean, it's good because I'm a small YouTuber, but it's not good overall. It's just terrible. Like, man.
Okay. And the legendary Jacksepticeye and Chaotic, believe it or not.
Chaotic is cryotic. But yeah, Jacksepticeye, best YouTuber of all time. Ever since I started watching YouTube, he's been my overall favorite.
You said earlier, the story for this game is pretty simple. But of course, it didn't need to be that complex. It's fun and easy to get into, and that's all that matters. People who are fans of PewDiePie and YouTube in general will love this story. It has a lot of funny and sweet moments, and come together to create a one-of-a-kind adventure, filling it to the brim with not only good content, but also references to other games and pop culture.
And it only gets better with the gameplay thrown into the mix. As you can see, it's an 8-bit 2D side-scroller like the ones from the 80s. All you have to do is move to the right and reach the level exit while doing some platforming and fighting enemies. However, there are some exceptions to the rule. Depending on what level you're playing, the objectives may change from flying on a plane, surviving waves of enemies until the time runs out, or helping hostages to escape.
It's very nice to see that this game has some variety to break up the regular side-scrolling levels to provide the players with a little more challenges as they go along. But wait, there is more. In addition to replaying these levels at a harder difficulty for more rewards, there are other things to keep an eye out for. For example, scattered throughout the level, there are patches that you can collect. To be honest, they have no real value, but they do look pretty cool when you add them to your collection.
Yeah, that is the truth. But you know what is worth something? The bro coins. There's this game's version of currency,
Man.
and there are also no levels. And when you collect enough of them, you could visit the,
Another thing about this this video is the fact that so you may imagine that our screen came over to my house and played the game with me to simulate 2 players. That's actually not what happened. I had another friend play in his place because he couldn't come over. So it's actually not me and him playing. It's actually me and someone else. But I asked him who his favorite YouTuber was, and he said it was Markiplier. So I did that to give the illusion that he was playing.
the pants, which I guess is this game's version of the store, where you can upgrade PewDiePie and his friends. Each YouTuber in this game has their own set of powers to be used when unlocked, but they also share certain abilities as well. There are 2 types here, a defense ability and an attack ability. You need to make sure that you use them at the right time, because they do have a cooldown, so you can't spam them over and over.
Some of the upgrades you can buy, like the Edgar Hearts and the Dr. Krabs, may be silly and humorous, but you will need them. The bosses in this game are few, but they do pack a punch. You will have to defeat them Mario style, and the upgrades that you get in the
Don't know
challenges
what's up with
allow
this
you to
lag, but
maximize
okay.
on harder difficulty.
Okay, okay, you got this, man.
Alright, alright. Yes! No!
That's actually my favorite part. I'm so glad I got that right in editing.
Oh! You mentioned earlier that this game was released on multiple systems. The system that we're playing on is on the PC via Steam. As with the mobile version, you can do co-op, which you can imagine is lots of fun. In the years following the release of the game, it has received many holiday updates, which is more than you would expect from a YouTube game. They added extra levels to the map, which when completed, can unlock costumes and characters to wear.
And that's just the thing. This game is just so well made.
It really is. I think this has to be contender for top 10, one of my top 10 favorite games of all time, just because of how well made it is. Pulix really did a good job making this game.
Both are very smooth. The graphics are bright and colorful, and the art design really fits well with this game. Each level is very distinct and has its own flair. Not to mention the killer soundtrack just knows to get me in the mood to smash some barrels.
That is true. This has to be one of the best gaming soundtracks of all time. It's up there alongside soundtracks like Halo, Metal Gear, even Minecraft. Especially in Minecraft in terms of nostalgia, because this came out like 6 to 8 years ago. Oh, I love this song.
There's really nothing to complain about. Yeah, even though it uses regular side-scrolling mechanics, it's because of its style and design that makes it worthwhile. Pewds worked heavily with Outer Minds to make sure that the game was just like how the Bone Armor would have wanted it, and it shows. This game is truly a treasure. If you're a huge fan of YouTube and want to go on a classic side-scrolling adventure, play PewDiePie Legend of the Brofist.
I give this game a 10 out of 10.
Alright.
I just want to take some time to thank my dear friend Artscreen, who has over 15,000 subscribers, for joining me for this review. He often uploads a lot on a range.
Oh my god, yeah, so that last part is a stolen joke. I'll admit it is a stolen joke. Okay, what's another review? Alright, we can look at one more here. The last big review I did, which is the 100 subscriber special, which was on Call of Duty World War II. I think I tried this intro here for the first time. I wasn't really being into it. I didn't like it. I really tried my best with this review to really make it special.
I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Video games based on the Second World War will always have a special place in my heart. It is without a doubt my favorite part of this cover, and games based on the time era has been seen by many as some of the greatest games ever made. Although the one we'll cover today may be a exception. Call of Duty World War II is the 14th installment in the series, released in 2017 by Sledgehammer Games, who at the time decided to send its roots back to the World War II with a new story based on the war, which will be discussed in this video because that's the reason why I love it personally. Usually lots of Call of Duty games get pushed for understandable reasons, but it seems that this game is fought to a lesser harder to explain reasons.
Because it appears that with Call of Duty World War II, people hate both the story and the online mode. Which, if you hate the online mode, that's fair. But the story, it just seems like, really? Are you sure about that? Story is freaking amazing, Call of Duty World War II. It has one of my favorite Call of Duty characters since Mason in Black Ops, all the way back in the early 2010s.
Just know that after playing both Call of Duty and World at War II, this game is indeed a worthy successor to the classic game, and
Uh, and the thing is, at the time, I still didn't have my capture card, so this footage is actually being recorded using the Xbox recording tool. What you do is you put a USB into the Xbox, and it allows you to record up to an hour of footage, which is perfect, which is exactly what I need.
Today, with our allies, we embark on an operation of unparalleled importance. Establish a beachhead in Normandy and roll back the German aggression that has terrorized Europe for the past 5 years.
The narrative in this game is one of the best in the franchise and one of my favorite game stories of all time. The game is set only in the American part of the European theater, as it follows one Private Ronald Red Daniels as he and his buddies take on Nazi Germany in the final moments of the war, whilst also dealing with personal battles of their own. The story is executed flawlessly. The both superb voice acting and written, and combined with a level of detail and story that are going to cause you. Because of this, you actually come to genuinely enjoy the characters to the point where you become invested in their personality and problems, and you want to help them overcome them, alongside seeing the horrors of war itself up close. There are a lot of downright funny and heart-wrenching scenes in this game that might actually make you shed a tear, making it one of the most memorable stories in Call of Duty alongside the original Black Ops.
Oh man, Zussman is like one of my favorite guys of all time. Words cannot describe how much this guy. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I had to retweet something. But yeah, words cannot describe how much I love Zussman from World War II. He is one of my favorite characters of all time. And I'm always pissed when people say that they don't want to see a sequel to this game, because I would freaking love a sequel to this game or something. Because I think we need to see more of Zussman and Daniels. They are like a dynamic. Their dynamic kind of reminds me of that of like Colin Jost and Michael Che from SNL. Also, he's just a badass. That's not what she said last night.
In terms of graphics, 4 years later, this is still a very good looking game.
Yeah, this video does not show off well the graphics.
Whichever engine used to make this game is gorgeous. You really get a sense of photorealism for both the models and the environment. And like I said earlier, the level of detail is unprecedented. You'll see guys get blown up, shot to pieces, and even set on fire, as well as getting involved in major action set pieces.
The action set pieces in this game were insane. Especially when you play on PC like I have with 1080p, 60 frames per second, loud speakers. It is thrilling. In fact, I actually may play this game again.
Combining the game's use of historical accuracy for its story and gameplay brings up the immersion factor big time. And speaking of gameplay, it's time to get into it. Of course, we missed Call of Duty game. The gameplay runs smooth from level to level, completing various objectives and shooting enemies. Whilst in these missions, you can also interact with your squad mates while using the D-pad. And by doing this, they can help you during combat like walking up, flashlight, and providing med packs until they can complete the task at hand.
Of course, one of the most stable things in any Call of Duty game.
There will also be certain missions in the water where you take on field missions like facing off with German Panzers and Tigers in a Sherman tank, or participating.
This is my favorite level in any Call of Duty game. I love World War II dogfights so much. I freaking love them. After watching movies like Pearl Harbor, yeah, I really fell in love with World War II dogfights.
It also has a pretty simple but effective stealth system that is used in some missions. Of course, the biggest mission that is used though is the one where you play as a French resistance member that infiltrates a German stronghold, whose later then coincides with the resistance teaming up with the Allies to liberate Paris from the Nazi occupying force. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for that dogfighting mission, this would totally be the highlight of the game for me.
And also, the level itself is gorgeous. If you haven't played it, go play it on either like a high end gaming PC or on console with like a high end TV or something. It is freaking amazing. The atmosphere is perfect, and when you go inside the Nazi stronghold, it is really, really gorgeous, and it's epic. it comes together just to make just such a perfect recreation of what it was like to be on the night with the liberation of Paris.
As the ending is finished so spectacularly, it's so grand. Now, of course, not every game is perfect. This game has some flaws, but like the Bible to me, is
Oh god, here come the jokes. Fuck's sake.
these issues can pose a problem, I understand. First of all, the game has quite a few historical inaccuracies, like Soviet machines for some reason. Now, to put myself in the shoes of the 19 carriers, I understand why this stuff is so misunderstood. Although the thing to understand is the fact that this Call of Duty is not something like the regular shooter genre. There is lots of unrealistic and overpowered stuff happening all the time. So stuff like this, you should probably just steer clear of this game if you don't want to. Another frustrating case for me is how apparently this game is badly optimized on PC. Now, this topic is kind of hard for me to answer because I don't have a PC. What I have to say for sure is the fact that there are a lot of games that run differently depending on the hardware you run. So again, just be careful about how you go about doing it.
Now, when it comes to this part, things have changed because I do have a gaming PC now, and I do have a copy of this game. And with my specs, I was able to run the game at like normal graphics, 60 FPS, and nothing really happened. I felt like there were occasional frame drops, but the game ran fine most of the time. I didn't really have a problem with it, thankfully. But, yeah, just be careful.
All in all, when it comes to providing a good single-player experience, Call of Duty World War II provides that and then some. The campaign will last about 7 to 8 hours, and after completing the games like Call of Duty 2, 3, 1, and 4, this game was definitely a scratch for that itch, and another good World War II experience. Although Call of Duty has had its fair share of ups and downs, it's gems like this one that help show us the series still has a bright future.
You could barely hear the music in the background. But yeah, yeah, that was the last major review. I definitely give that like an 8 out of 10 because I definitely tried my best with that review. I definitely tried my best to make it different than all the other ones and stuff like that. But we're gonna react to one last video here, and well, actually no, I have a bunch of meme videos that I have a San Andreas. That's way, but of course, let's go home, and of course we could look at some of my most popular uploads. Now these videos I'm kind of mixed about. I love them because they did well, and I love History Matters, but I also am kind of mad at the fact that a majority of people who come to my channel kind of expect them to happen when that's not really what my content was about. And that's one of the things that makes YouTube such a tricky thing. You can have a video do well, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your channel does well.
These empires brought huge amounts of wealth back to both Spain and Portugal, tipping the
But it was a funny little video, just this acknowledging this gag that happens on all of his videos. And some of the comments are just hilarious. Theodore Roosevelt is the best designed character in my opinion. Look at these. I love how Bismarck was the one who walked in with no expression. In his videos on Spain and other European. Oh my god.
the French and Russian ambitions to keep them neutral. Britain had previously kept itself out of European affairs. The wealthy and educated who fled Constantinople ended up in Italy. Some knowledge they brought with them had a profound effect on the Renaissance. Again, no one really wanted to help, but the second decided he would lead the crusade personally. He died. The American.
Alright, so another good video on History Matters that did incredibly well is this one right here. And I'm actually extremely proud of this one, but again, I'm still mixed about the whole, attention thing. I don't know if History Matters himself has seen this video. I hope he has. I hope he will.
didn't want the Emperor to fall into enemy hands, so he and his family were executed on July the 17th, 1918. Lenin's death left the power vacuum which only two men could fill. Wilhelm I died in 1888. He was replaced by Friedrich III, who died 99 days later, and he was followed by Wilhelm II.
It's also interesting how his animation has evolved over the centuries. Not over the centuries, over the years.
Soldiers, Maylov's made worse by the death of Suleiman the next year. Like most monarchs, Selim eventually died. To make things worse, the shogun was also dying and an heir had to be selected. Very little happened.
Just the thud itself.
He was proclaimed James I of England and Ireland. Both sides started assassinating members of the other, and the most notable of these was the murder of Jose Calvo Sotelo, the leader of the monarchist party. Since the arrested Jose Antonio of the Falange party had been executed, Franco placed himself as its new leader. It was here.
Alright, so I think that's pretty much it for this stream. I just wanted to watch some videos, and yeah, that's pretty much it, because the rest of it are just meme videos. But yeah, I do just really want to thank you guys for 400 subscribers. Those of you who have been here, you know, YouTube is definitely a wild ride, and I'm not too sure where this channel will go. But if you do want to see more stuff from me, what you could do is click right here. This is where I spend the majority of my time nowadays, online. If you really want to see me, I'm right here on, oh, Transgamer Halo is streaming. I'm right here streaming on Twitch. It's the same thing as my YouTube username. Come hang out. I stream often. I for stream with my friends and stuff like that, playing Minecraft. Right now, we have a little bit of another survival going on, and then soon it'll be stuff like Crab Game and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for watching this little 400 subscriber live stream. Thank you guys for subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.